Village of Bartlett Board meeting for November the 3rd, 2016. I call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Ahrens, absent. Kammerer.
Here.
Carbonaro.
Here.
Daney.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
REINKE.
Here.
President Wallace.
Here. We've requested Pastor Rosemary Trainer. Is she here? Yep. For our invocation. Pastor Trainer.
Father, I lift up the president of Bartlett, the trustees, financial director, and all who are in places of authority. And I ask for your wisdom to lead and guide them in all their decision-making. Let every decision they make be a decision that will bless this town, causing it to become prosperous and bring growth. I pray a blessing over this town, over our president, our trustees and their families, and over all the people who live in this town of Bartlett. Protect our leaders, their families, our policemen, firemen, and all the people who live in this town of Bartlett. Give our leaders strength, endurance, and stamina as they perform their duties each day. Fill them with your peace, joy, and love in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Trainer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is our consent agenda. Microphone's really loud. All items listed with an asterisk will be considered enacted in one motion. There won't be any separate discussion on these items. At this point, is there anything anyone would like to add to the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I'd like to add item A1, the Ace Hardware sales tax rebate, to the consent agenda, please.
Anybody have any issues with that? All right. Anything else? Oh, there's nothing else to add. So I'll entertain a motion to amend the consent agenda to include the minutes from board and committee minutes of October 18, 2016, bills list for November 1, 2016. We'll be adding the Planning and Zoning Committee Ace Hardware sales tax rebate, and also includes the Public Works Adopt a Highway.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Hopkins, seconded by Trustee Carbonaro. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Carbonaro.
Yes.
Daney.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
REINKE.
Yes.
Kammerer.
Yes.
That motion carries. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Carbonaro, seconded by Trustee Daney. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Daney.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
REINKE.
Yes.
Kammerer.
Yes.
Carbonaro.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next item we have this evening is, with any significance, would be questions. Any board have any questions for staff? Other than we actually won the World Series. The Cubs actually won the World Series. Nice tie, Jim. I can't believe nobody's wearing jerseys or anything. This is really kind of bad. One day later, we already forget.
Prices of jerseys tripled.
I know, right? Yeah. Looking at buying stuff before the game, and Debbie's like, my wife's so confident. We're not going to buy anything until they win it, and then we can say they won. You know. Yeah. No other questions. We'll move it right into town hall. Does anybody like to address the board? Please step up to the podium. State your name and address for the record, please, and try to keep your comments to 3 minutes.
All right, Austin Hopkins, 944 Sandpiper Court, Bartlett. I'm the president of the Horizon Townhouse Homeowners Association, and I come here this evening just to kind of bring to light some of the things that have been going on within my association, my neighborhood. I just feel like things are deteriorating. You know, over the past year, we have loud music complaints, overnight parking on the streets, teenagers loitering, swearing in the village streets, criminal damage to property, fighting, gang activity, gang fights, aggravated battery with mob action, and gunshots. And just recently now we have graffiti. As I said, I'm here because I need your guys' help. I've sent you all letters. The police department and staff have been very helpful in the past few years. I just feel like we need to all come together now and try to figure out a solution. as an association, we've done as much as we can, as legally as we can. Homeowners associations are not made to deal with safety issues. We take care of common areas, sidings, roof, common areas. You know, so, and what I have done is reformed our rules and regulations, brought in new leasing requirements, background checks, but some of those things can still get around some of those things. We have crime-free lease addendums that we're able to, unfortunately, since we're a townhouse association, we can't necessarily evict people. Condominiums can, townhouses unfortunately can't. We can sue on breach of contract and compel the homeowner to do something. And that's where I feel we need to figure out a way to open up communication between the village and our association, some type of an agreement. Because if there's criminal activity or any type of crime, loud music, that's a nuisance violation, and we can start fining the homeowner for that. Unfortunately, I can't be everywhere to figure out what to FOIA. So if there's some way that we can all come together and figure out and say, hey, here's a simple solution, this is what happened, here's the time, all this stuff, either we FOIA or something. Then we can start sending violations that starts to clean some of those issues up. As I stated in the past, the police department and the chief, they've been great. I've been able to meet with him a couple of times. Things are great, but then things calm down and everything seems to be okay, unless if you live there, and then you see the real stuff. People in our area, they don't necessarily always want to call the police because they're scared. They don't want to become targets. I don't blame them. You know, I'm just one of the few that are just like, you know what, I don't care. If they're going to target me, they're going to target me. So far, knock on wood, that has not happened. I just want to figure out a way where we can have a long-term solution, years. We're not talking weeks, months, we're talking years. So I'd really, you know, and again, the chief has contacted me again about setting up a meeting. I'd love to have, you know, the chief, maybe someone from staff. I would love to have some of the elected officials there. Just to be part of the conversation, so everybody knows what's going on, and we can all just work together to try to figure this out. Because just listing what has happened in the past year is more than enough to make you think: is this Bartlett? Yeah. Is this Bartlett we're thinking about? So, again, I look forward to talking with you guys, trying to figure out a solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. And just as a small response, we did get an email back from the chief describing what we've done so far, the extra patrols and stuff. But I agree, we need to try to figure out a longer-term solution, something, whatever. I don't know what else you can do other than the many, many things that you already pointed out. So, yeah.
We will keep trying, and it is a challenge. And I can tell you, I've always been very impressed with Mr. Hopkins and his willingness to work with us. And we're encouraged with his leadership, and maybe that can garner some more cooperation with a few more of the residents. That would be a pinnacle importance if we could get a few more points of contact who would be willing to be as cooperative as he is. He has every right to be frustrated.
Okay. Anyone else like to address the board at this time?
I wanted to ask the chief a question. This cannot just be unique to Bartlett. I'm sure other communities are fighting this problem also.
It's a high-density neighborhood.
Right.
It's socio-economically very diversified, and it's a dense population. So it has those issues that come along with that. Yes.
And do we know what these other communities are doing to try and combat this?
Yeah, I would challenge you. Yeah, we're pretty creative compared to other industry,
other
agencies. I'm not saying there isn't other things we could do. We can research it. I can tell you my staff is highly professional and highly creative. They do all types of undercover surveillance, meet and greets. I could go into a litany of things we are doing. We could start looking at things that are SEPTED-ish, which are environmental design issues. We could talk about that. But it's not just the police. A lot of the things are quality of life issues. And there's a fine line between proactive policing and harassment, and we got to walk that line. So, we will continue to be creative and professional, and we will never harass anybody. So it is going to take a group effort, and I'm comfortable with Mr. Hopkins' leadership that we can accomplish that to everybody's liking.
based on my experience with the police department, I have complete confidence that this will be headed in the right direction.
Anyone else like to address the board at this time?
Good evening. I'm Jim Zay, Chairman of the DuPage Water Commission. Here tonight with me is our General Manager, John Spatz. John has been our General Manager for the last 5 years. Before they spent 26 years with the City of Chicago. John was also the Commissioner of Water under Mayor Daley. The reason we're here tonight is that we understand the Village of Bartlett is considering a long-term sustainable water supply option. We want to show that we're very interested in working with the village to make you a part of the DuPage Water Commission. As you know, on my other life, I am your representative on the DuPage County Board. We have worked well together on other projects and stormwater and road projects, and I think we can continue to do this with the DuPage Water Commission. We have some concerns. We've been working with Christopher Burke. We know that there's a personal relationship with a former staff member that works for Jawa. We just want to make sure this is an open and transparent process and that the decisions are made by the merits of the organizations and for the best of the people of Bartlett. I'm not going to get into the other organization. They're a great organization. We looked at the presentation, there's been 2 drafts. We do feel that the second draft, there's some numbers and rates that don't really actually show our present rates. We're not happy with it, but obviously we're here to, talk about that and make sure if there's any questions from the board that we can answer them. We do know that DuPage Water Commission is the best option for a number of reasons. We are a larger organization. We give supply water to 25 municipalities, to DuPage County, who serves 6 areas, and to Illinois American Water, that serves 7 areas, almost 900,000 residents. The DuPage Water Commission is the City of Chicago's largest customer. We buy approximately about 10% of their water. The DuPage Water Commission pumps about 70.4 million gallons of water a day to our residents, which means it's almost 26 billion gallons a year. We employ some of the top water utility professionals in the country. We have significant financial strength with the Commission. We have an operating budget of $121 million. We have $154 million in reserve. We have a $29.7 million capital reserve and $10.2 million in a long-term capital reserves. We no longer collect any sales tax. The DuPage Water Commission is totally debt-free. And I'll say that again, the Water Commission is totally debt-free. We have no outstanding debts, bonds, anything. So we are a full utility. We work on our rates. We have decreased our operating budget for the 5th straight year. In turns, because of that, we have lowered the water rate 3% in the last 2 years. We actually are one of the few government bodies. We have made additional pension contributions, and we have fully funded our pension, so we have no pension debt whatsoever. We've also restored the Commission's reserves, including a 5-year capital reserve, which is fully funded for the next 5 years without us adding any money to it at the present time. We've also established long-term capital reserves that will help replace critical infrastructure when it comes to the end of useful life. As you can see, we've taken many steps in the short, mid, and long term to provide water service to our customers and puts us in a good position to keep our water rates to a minimum in the into the future. We hope you decide to join us and become a member and enjoy the same benefits and rates that all of our customers do. We no longer have subsequent user rates. Every customer pays the same rate at the Commission. We paid our bonds off early, so we no longer have bond payments. We'd love for you to come out and take a tour of the Water Commission and see what we do. We do get our water from the Lexington pumping station right off of the Eisenhower. We have 2 lines that go there. We spent money there. We have full backup situations there. We have emergency generators at the Lexington plant, and we have emergency generators at the Elmhurst plant. So we can run in any time of emergency. We can run. It's my hope that the board doesn't rush into any agreement and picks a couple of options for Bartlett when it comes to safe water. We all know safe water, learning lessons from Flint, Michigan, that an investment in quality water is best. Most reliable source must be for the residents. So thank you for the opportunity. Any questions, we're here to answer them.
We'll probably get into some when we go through committee, but thank you, Mr. Zay.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the board at this time? Nope. Moving on to standing committee reports. At risk of going through all these with nothing on the agenda, I will just, we can all collectively say I have no report this evening, other than the ones that were put on the consent. So we will move down to new business. Anybody want to talk about new business? Got plenty of it on the committee, I know that.
Well, actually, I do want to bring up something that as I've been walking my neighborhood as a precinct committeeman, there's still some concern in certain streets about traffic and noise, and so I want to have a little bit of a discussion on what I've been educating myself about regarding traffic calming devices. And just wondering, I know we have the portable speed radar devices that we set up, and we've talked about how it's not really from a public works standpoint with the speed bumps and speed islands or whatever because of snow plows and emergency vehicles. But I've been looking and researching a little bit when it comes into the actual signs that are radar-generated signs that are solar-powered that really just stay there. They're not mobile. They're put on streets. Cars see them. They slow down. And I'm just wondering how viable those options would be. I guess I'm directing this to either staff or the chief or whoever.
Well, what we might want to do is have a broader discussion on street calming. We've looked at that before, and there are a number of things you can do, and that certainly would be one of them. We could, get some pictures of it and see how much it costs. The other two issues is there's a proposal at the end of South Bartlett Road for a roundabout. And while those can be expensive, that's really one of the important things for street calming. The other thing is that the...
What? I'm sorry, I didn't get...
Roundabout.
A
circle and you go around it.
This crazy thing.
It's in the Wayne Township bike plan.
Right.
The other thing is that the more narrow the street is, the slower the traffic.
That's right.
And so if you take everybody and park them on either side of the road, you're going to calm that traffic. And so there's all those kinds of things that maybe aren't such a great idea for some other reasons, but that would be something that we could put on an agenda, give us an opportunity to update our information about traffic calming and take a look at it.
Yeah, it'd be good, I think. I think there's some other options. These cameras, these radar detecting cameras that just basically show your speed, slow down the traffic apparently considerably. And that's not going to stop the traffic more than likely, but if it slows it down, maybe then the noise won't be as evident, generate as much noise. And so maybe that would be helpful. Things of that nature, but I just think I'd like to just have a deeper discussion on that.
Good, we'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Trustee Kamer. Anything else? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. We'll be moving directly into the committee of the whole meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Kamer, seconded by Trustee Daney. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kamer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
REINKE?
Yes.